Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we got my sisters, the staple singers, in my background. And you want to know something? They want to know, are you sure? Think before you answer. Sorry, that's my fault. I'm trying to turn down the volume on that. Do you see that right there? But I'm turning it down on the speaker, not on the phone. And we gonna have my sisters playing in my background because I'm holding. This is a tablet. This ain't no cell. Well, it is a cell phone, but it's a tablet. You know what I'm saying? Both a tablet and a phone at the same time. How do you do it, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a long journey, so I'm gonna give you all some advice. I'm gonna suggest that we all do this together. So over the next week, and I want all of you to be sure. That's why that song is playing in the background. So think before you do it. Think before you answer. Are you sure? That's the staple singers, everybody. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Sorry. I like this song. If you can just imagine being in the inner community during the summers, in the dusk of the day, just before the sun sets, and this song is playing in the background, and the house is still. Nobody's really doing anything other than talking in little groups, but the music is playing in the background, and everybody's comfortable. Everybody is at peace. Where are those days, everybody? You see, we can't go back. It's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, they just asked, are you sure it's not your place to help someone who's lost their way? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my concern when I see my neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my concern. So, as soon as my girls and Papa Staples finish talking, you and I are going to be able to have a conversation. But hold on. If y'all don't know this song, y'all need to listen to this song. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I've always liked the song, as you can tell. All right, the staple singers are going to be in the background, and now I can go ahead and talk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm going to suggest we do. I'm going to take off the gloves. I'm still going to put together the documents I need to put for the organization, but let's give the Federal Reserve, the courts, Congress, and the executive branch a warning. Let's let them know here we come. Ladies and gentlemen, March 9th, 1933 to March 9th, 2023 is 90 years, and nobody has been using this act. The banks have been doing it behind your backs. Go back and look at Federal Circular, the Federal Reserve Operation Circular, number 10, and look at how the banks are applying to the local Federal Reserve agent on your behalf for loans. But you're never receiving the loan. Why? Because you never knew that your note and their application, not the original application. See, we were mistaken about that because that's the only application we knew was associated at first. We're going to pause them That's the only application we knew, was the original application for the loan. But here it is, the Federal Reserve agent proves acceptance and acknowledgement of receipt of payment when they put in that stupid application. So start subpoenaing. All of you who are going through foreclosure, man, do a demand for that letter. Remember, your name and information is associated with that information, so you have the right. You have the absolute right to those records. They are not privileged. And the moment they say they're privileged, you tell the court that this proves it. And if they don't furnish it and the court doesn't order them to furnish it, then you will bring a complaint against the court and the judge for collusion. Don't be afraid. It's too late to be afraid. Those of you who are afraid you're going to lose your homes, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid of them. Now it's not the time to be afraid. It's not that time yet. The final clampdown hasn't happened yet. Yes, this will lead to it. Why? Because all of the mortgage crises, you guys need to understand that all that junk was a lie. If all of these banks were paid, could there have been a crisis? Pay attention. How could there have been a crisis if they were all paid on every single loan because they followed their own rules, procedures, and regulations? The only obligation you had was to tender a promissory note. You see, they created their own application process after you filled out an application. However, you tendered an application and a note to the local Federal Reserve agent, which is what you were supposed to do. We didn't know that they were also doing an application. Pay attention. We did not know they were also doing an application. Now we can prove that they're doing an application. What is it? OC-10? Their form? But that's only part of it because their application is 4 documents long. Yes, that's the point. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just that split second. Sorry, earlier today I redid my bed, redid the covering and how I did the covering and my little, I have this memory foam, redid that, and I promise you, I am as comfortable as I could possibly be. Finally! Won't last long, but hey, the only problem is I am wired. Why? Why are you wired? What are you doing get out my room? I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm literally on the bed. Um, Here's the point. Enough. It is time for us to bring a claim. We can prove what we can prove. Now, some of you are going to try to bring a claim, but you don't know what you're doing. Why? Because if you knew what you were doing and if you knew how to handle this, you would have done it already. Wait, what's that mean? Didn't I tell you to get out my room? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain, because that's not the only confused individual on the planet. Here are the rules. A lot of people don't understand the rules. There is nothing new under the sun. But if you were to have done it, you would have already have done it. You can't do it now because it's not your thought. You see, I just spoke the thought. You didn't think the thought. Well, no, I was thinking about, but you didn't do it. You were thinking about it. So get in line. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a lawsuit done. All of the people who are part of the Defrauded Homeowners of America, as I promised, and the new people who are coming in under AMCF. That's where we're headed. Enough. Enough of this stupidity. Do you know what we've been doing, ladies and gentlemen? We've been capitulating. We've been letting them do this. Look, this is not government that's doing this. Don't you guys understand this? Government is not doing this. It is the people, the directors, those people who are money hungry, those who are receiving the kickbacks. the under the table deals. So I have 9 more documents I have to complete. That will be my focus before I start working on this. But I assure you, it's time for us to play. And if you want to join me, I'm not asking anybody for a dime right now, although there will be a need for funds to prosecute this, because I can't tell you how I'm going to go at it, because I don't want to uncover that table just yet. But I want you to know. Now, if you understand the proof that we have now, see, we can prove that they have been applying for a loan on behalf of the borrower. We can prove that the only thing the bank has loaned was its credit. Why? Because it credited monies to the seller. And when it deals with a home, when they deal with a loan, the same thing. They credit money, the financial institutions credit money to the schools. Dealing with a car, they credit money to the dealership. And then they get their money back from the Federal Reserve. They are even Steven. But why are you having to pay? Because you're volunteering. But you have the right to get your money back because they keep saying you owe. They keep saying you have a debt. They keep saying you have an obligation. It was never your obligation. It was the government's obligation. We can prove that. But as I told you, that's what I've been studying. This point right here, plus arbitrations, plus a bunch of other things. But, my mind can handle at one point in time several different aspects. But right now, I'm a one-track minder because I told you, go back. I told all of you that if you gave me assistance, what would I do? That I would do what I could to help you, providing you information, not holding back. Well, now, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off. Again, not against government. It's not about government. Government hasn't done anything wrong. It is the people within that structure who are doing the wrong. It is those people, these wannabe punks who call themselves judges. That's right, who sit up here and play games with technicalities and stupid rules and stupid procedures, making it appear, you hear the word there? Making it appear that they're following some law. Look, we got the Supreme Court, as I told you all, in 1938, Irrero versus Tompkins, saying that there is no federal common law. Nobody ever said there was. There shouldn't have been any federal common law, but there is a national common law. How do we know? Because the Northwest Ordinance spoke of it. That's right. The Supreme Court and all the other courts speak of the common law principles all the time. They speak of the common law of the colonies. You guys need to understand the colonies had common law. Those are the laws that are still in existence to this day. They have not been repealed. You can't get rid of common law. They said statutory law replaced common law. No, it didn't. Sorry, you can't replace common law with no statute. Congress doesn't have that authority. The people couldn't even give Congress the authority to replace common law. Why? Because it's grandfathered. Under what authority would they replace common law unless the common law violated the common law? Then it's automatically invalid. So there is no need to replace it. Some of you are not going to get the principles I'm speaking here, but these are principles. So the point is, I was thinking about what's the best way. I was going to have us all get together and we were going to do the documents. We were going to apply for ABA numbers, and I'm suggesting that you do that anyway. I was going to help you guys with the forms. I can't do all of it at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't do all of it. But see, the only problem is some people are going to take off and they're going to do it and they're going to get their groups together and they're going to do it and they're going to leave all the rest of you behind because they're that selfish. Everybody wants to do things with these groups. Everybody's forming these groups, and they're only keeping it within the group, and they're not sharing the information with nobody else. It's all about these groups. That is just as selfish as if you were to do it by yourself. Because you're going to put together a group? Excuse me, don't you understand that? That is selfishness. So you're doing it on behalf of the group, but you're keeping it to the group. You're not sharing it with your fellow man. That's a shame. Now, it would almost be okay, but the problem is you're getting ideas from this video. Now, go ahead. I'm not getting ideas from other videos. I did speak about the young man, Zodiac, but I only said that he mentioned something that brought something to my attention, but no ideas on how to do anything. I told you about Mr. Terrence. He provided the circular, but I understand he got that from my requesting, hey, y'all need to do this, y'all need to do that. I think y'all should go look at this, look up that. I don't have the time. I need y'all to do it. And if you find something, bring it to my attention. He did it based on that. As I told you, I'm getting the information from the God that I serve. Now, look, hold on now. I want to make sure I say something because this has been long necessary. Doesn't matter if you don't believe in Jehovah. Doesn't matter if you don't appreciate the name Jehovah. It doesn't matter if you don't appreciate the fact that I say that I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what matters? Is the fact that I believe. You know what matters? The fact that I believe. You see, so long as I believe, my integrity cannot be touched by anybody. Nobody can challenge my integrity. There are people out there trying to challenge me, trying to talk about me, trying to go back 30 plus years to talk about me. They can kiss me. I'm sorry. Whoo, woosah. Woosah. Man, where's Martin Lawrence when you need him? Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is this. As a Jehovah's Witness, I take that very seriously. As a matter of fact, I put that above everything. I care less about everything else. That's why you don't see me out here trying to get rich. You don't see me out here trying to get more material things. You see, I already understand there is no such thing as new. You guys have heard me say that. There is nothing new under the sun. Solomon wasn't just talking about everything has already been done. That wasn't what he was saying. Everything that's been what we refer to as created comes from something old. Even Adam was created from something that already existed. Eve was created from something that already existed. There is nothing new. Even the information I'm giving you is not new. However, what I can tell you is everybody else is getting distracted. I told everybody I was going to stay focused on one thing. I'm not going to be off on these other tirades. Here's the problem. There are people working within the system that's trying to bring information my way. I'm not talking about all the people I communicate with. No. I'm receiving emails from people trying to send me in other directions, trying to bring me here and bring me. People, I'm not following that junk. I have other people who I talk to who are also going in other directions, and I've let them know straight up, no, I'm not going that way. I'm staying focused on this. This is where I said I was going to stay focused. I'm a ride or die. Okay? Just that simple. Because I knew, even though I knew March 9th, 1933 was a starting point, it was not the starting point. The 1860s was the starting point, and it wasn't the Civil Rights Act. It was that stupid Civil War, people. That's when they changed everything. And then the Act of February 21st, 1781, where Washington, D.C. became a corporation officially. It's the 1781 Act. Go read it. Okay? That's where D.C. became a municipal corporation officially. Once you start putting those pieces together, thanks Thomas Clark Nelson, then You can go to the banking acts, and then you can understand the banking acts. Remember, they said they didn't want paper currency. That's what the people said. That's what Congress was saying. They didn't want paper currency, and guess what Congress did? Martial law through the president. Then Congress approved the martial law nationally. And then what do? They claimed that they could apply a military act to the civilian population. Wait, hold on now. How could they do that? The military is not supposed to be interacting with civilians. In order to suppress insurrection and rebellion, they made everybody enemies. So they're suppressing insurrection and rebellion. Go back and look at the 14th Amendment. They have the right to do that and use any and all means necessary. That's why the court said it's a provisional government. Look, we've been trying to get into the actual court for years. I told you what I did in New Mexico by petitioning that court. State of California wants to play games. Yeah, they just sent the paperwork back, all out of order and everything. I'm going to play games with them. So I need y'all to pay attention, need you to understand. We're getting ready to take care of some things. I know they're getting ready to change the system, but for those of you who are willing to fight, then prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not protesting. I am not challenging government. That's not what this is about. Again, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, so I cannot get involved in no massive protest or challenging government. Okay, superior authorities, got to have respect for them. So long as they don't ask me to do something that conflicts with my God's laws, I got to have respect for them. And so I do. So this is not about hating government. So everybody needs to get that junk out of their head. This has never been that type of channel. Yeah. They try to lump me in with all of those people, but that's never been the case. If you hear me talk about a judge, I'll talk about them specifically and purposely because of who they are. If you hear me talk about the police, I'll talk about them specifically and purposely because of what we can prove. But as far as going after everybody, I told you, I got friends who are police officers. All police officers are not bad, please. Not on this planet. Not even the correction officers inside the prisons. They're not all bad. Castro. Man, this officer named Castro literally showed loving kindness to me. Literally, he knew that there was something different about me. He wasn't my friend. Like I said, he just extended loving kindness to me. He made sure that I got what was coming, but he made sure that I wasn't overly stressed. And I appreciate that. Won't forget that. All the other ones, there are several other people I've met in the past who I've had dealings with, several judges I've met in the past who I've had dealings with. A lot of respect for those people because they did their job. See, I don't want special treatment from nobody and their grandmother. So I tell you people, I don't want no thank yous. How can you thank me for giving you something that Jehovah has given me the ability to provide? You can't thank me for that. You have to thank him. I can't accept your thank yous. What is wrong with you people? That's what my mind thinks. How can I take credit from him? That's why I have to give him the credit. Again, doesn't matter if you believe. Doesn't matter if you understand. Doesn't matter if you think I think you're crazy. Okay, it doesn't matter if you think I'm crazy. I promise you, that's not even a point. Because IDC or IDK, I don't care. Literally, IDC or IDK, whichever one you want to hold on to. Because I don't. Like I said, I don't care what you think. As long as I believe, that's all that counts. And it's a unique thing that my beliefs are not based on propaganda. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to take the time to do this because I was sitting up here watching The Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. And I'm a little bit impressed. I mean, literally, for this idiot to be that old and for him to be able to produce a series like this one, I'm impressed. I've been watching Peripheral, The Peripheral. Got my attention. Watching Andor. Andor really has my attention. That George Lucas, hey, we all right. I watch these shows as a distraction. Why? Because I need to take my mind off of all of this other stuff. I told you, when I say that I'm constantly thinking about this stuff, constantly figuring out ways, figuring ways around, figuring ways out, figuring ways in, that's what I do. But I don't get any rest because my mind doesn't slow down. The mind is a muscle. The brain is a muscle. The brain is a muscle. The mind is a muscle. Okay? Since the brain is a muscle, I have two muscle diseases that the doctors believe are competing with one another. Do you understand when I say I can't stop thinking? How that causes me not to be able to relax, which means I don't get to REM state? I took a sleeping pill at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's 8 o'clock now. It usually takes about an hour for the pill to kick in. The only problem is I had 9 hours of sleep last night. I just didn't get REM sleep, but I did get 9 hours of sleep. And I'll get close to 9 hours tonight because I'm constantly thinking about this stuff. That's what's going to be the problems for me in the future. I've already seen it. Nobody can sit up there and tell me, you need to take this. Look, let me see if I can do this. Then I'm going to finish this video and get on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, if I've already seen the stuff going on today, if I have already seen the so-called pandemic before it occurs, no, before it occurred, no, not ED, before it occurs, future. That junk wasn't the pandemic, I promise you. I'm hearing China is locking down Beijing and other major cities because they have a new variant. Y'all really need to understand something. K-Sweat, just ain't right. Okay, something just ain't right, people. Something is wrong. But until then, why don't we change? See, they want to change when they feel like it. Why don't we force change? Because all of this foreclosure stuff, we need to put an end to that. Don't y'all agree? So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we force them to change? So, I'm going to need individuals. Who was it? I can't think of her name. Dag nabbit. And she did that lawsuit here in California. You guys know the young lady who did the lawsuit, who had the ranch and they foreclosed on her. And people like that. I need people to get with me who understand how to file a lawsuit. I need them to contact me. Let's try December 17th is the date. Do not, December 17th, 2022. Between December 17th and December 20th. Do not contact me before. Do not contact me after that because I will ignore it. Sorry. Those 3 days, if you didn't hear about it, that means it wasn't meant for you to hear. I don't believe in fate, Fate. Okay, I don't believe in that junk. But I do believe that, as I said from the very beginning, I don't advertise the EON channel. You don't hear me hitting, hit subscribe, hit subscribe, hit subscribe. Oh, and hit like, hit like, hit like. You don't see me doing any of that junk. You'll never see me doing that on my channels. This is not about that. I'm not doing this for a living. This is not how I make my living. Ladies and gentlemen, the videos are done and designed, even the titles, so that the people who are supposed to have the information find their way to the information. You will not believe all the emails I get on people talking about how they just found my channel and don't realize that I've been on YouTube either under RedressRight or EON for the past 12 years, almost 13 years now. Imagine that. Oops. Do you see what I'm saying? But they don't realize that. They don't realize over 10,000 videos done just by my person alone. 1,000 videos last year by itself. People don't realize that. This is not how I make a living. This is just what I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to suggest and I'm going to ask that all of you go over the ABA video. The link for the documents are underneath that video. Go over the rules, go over the procedures, call the ABA, tell them what you're doing. Tell them that you, according to the statute, are a bank. If they give you a problem, then pull up the definition for the Check 21 Act. That's CHECK, the number 21, then Act, ACT. Pull that document up and look under bank for definitions. So there's a definition section, look at bank, and it says anyone engaged in the business of banking. And as I told you, when you received that loan, that was called banking business. Now, here's what you need to know. Banking business has never been defined. You don't need to repeat that to them. As long as you know that in advance, you can kill any junk they say. Get your ABA numbers. All right? If you all can get ABA numbers, then I will start helping you from that point forward on what to do next. I know some of you think, well, I get an ABA number. I already know what I need to do. Lord have mercy. Then you do what you need to do. Then you don't need to be listening to this videos because I'm talking to the people who are willing to work together. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the other thing. If you're going to contact me about that, then you're going to have to be willing to work with others. You cannot be doing that junk solo. See, we got a lot of people who put ego first. I told you I don't have an ego. I have an I go. Okay? Because wherever I go, he goes. Okay? Anyway, that's just the way it is. Because the ABA routing number is not the only thing. There's a lot of things coming, but there's a lot of things we need to do. And you know what? I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm tired of the stupidity. Now, in about a week and a half, we're going to talk about the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the uh, CCC. CCC, Comptroller of the Currency. So the, or is it OCC? You down with OCC? Yeah, you know me. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the OCC. Okay? The Orange County. Yeah, we're going to talk about them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and when we talk about them, y'all gonna learn something. So in about a week, we'll have a conversation about them. It's 2023, everybody. You imagine making it this long? Now, not you newbies, not you booties that's in your 20s. We ain't talking to you people. We're talking about them 40, 50, 60-year olds. Did y'all ever think we would make it this long? 2024. 2023, sorry. I don't know why, because everybody else has been saying 2024. All the TV series have been saying 2024. They've been highlighting 2024 as a final date or 2024 as a beginning date. But either way, they've all been focusing on 2024. What are they trying to tell us? Do not email me about that. I'm not really worried about it. Like I said, I was allowed to see what's coming. And everything that I was told would happen to me up until that time has happened. So I don't need nobody believing whether I saw or what I saw or whether I didn't see what I saw. What you need to understand is I believe. What you need to understand is I've seen it all come true. And I wrote it down and told it to friends so that when it did happen, whoo-wee, I couldn't say that I caused it to happen. I had something to do with it, because each one of these things had nothing to do with me. So when they happened, it couldn't have been my fault. And they weren't obvious things like the sun is going to rise tomorrow morning. Well, the sun will rise tomorrow morning unless you're at the South or North Pole. So you have the North Pole, there is no sunrise tomorrow morning. It's wintertime. You know what I mean? So the sun doesn't rise every morning everywhere. Anyway, I just need you guys to get ready. Now, many of you, if we create the forms, you'll just fill them out and send them in. No, we don't want those type of people. We don't want sheeple who just want to copy and paste, and that, Lord have mercy, y'all can't be that way. If you want to go after your monies, if you want to go after your funds, if you want to protect your homes, you're going to have to do the right research. You can't just do that bubblegum research that you claim that you did. This ain't about that, ladies and gentlemen. You have to do actual research. So if you're going to search, start with the so-called New Deal document that you keep seeing me go to. That's your foundational document. Presidential proclamation is in there. Go over that document. Read over the highlighted parts with the Congress. And then go over the Federal Reserve Act. The sections you see me talking about, Section 13, Section 16, Section 16, subsections 1 and 2. Just as simple. Just go over it. Stop looking at the code. Leave the mother code alone. The code ain't your friend. Statute at large and the congressional record is what you want to focus on. You just need to trust me on that. What have you got to lose? A little bit of time, but look at what you'll gain as far as education and knowledge. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I don't want to take y'all too much longer. I just am going to sit up here and wind my cell phone down because I done pulled my charger out. My phone off the charger. I ain't supposed to be off the charger. Man, you off the chain. All right. Oh, that's right. I turned off that charger. Dag nabbit. Sorry, I turned off one of the solar systems. I have two solar arrays, and one of them I turn off at night because I don't need it, and the other one stays on all night because it's got the camera system and all that. Got a infrared people. You know what I mean? All right, y'all take care. Stay out of trouble, and we will talk. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where you at, girls? That's my girls, y'all. Staple Singers and Papa Staples, and they're asking you guys if you want to help. Just be sure. Okay? Gotta go, y'all.